Hi everyone, welcome back to Hunter x Hunter Institute, where we're gonna do yet another fun video. Among the many arcs of the Hunter x Hunter series, one of the most popular is Yorknew City. And in this arc, one group that stood out was the Shadow Beasts. Are you one of the fans who still remembers their first appearance? When one of them comments that the Phantom Troop looks weak, surely I wasn't the only one who thought, these guys are done for. Not all members of the Shadow Beasts had their abilities revealed. They did have very little screen time. So in this video, we're going to rank the members whose abilities we know of. Get ready to see who's going to be their top 5 strongest members. Shadow Beasts are strong. Shadow Beasts should be appreciated more. If you're one of the fans who agree with this, give this video a thumbs up. If you have your own ranking of the Shadow Beasts members, share it with us on the comment section. We'd love to see fellow fans' rankings. With that said, let's jump right in. 1. Shadow Beasts. The Shadow Beasts made their first appearance during the Yorknew City arc. They were said to be the most powerful Nen users within the Mafia community. Their group is made up of 10 members who were all hired by the 10 Dons, the bosses of the Mafia dominating the underground society. In the series, not all members got their spotlight, and out of the 10 members, we only know the names and abilities of 5 of them. Each member has a code name derived from animals, so their real name remains unknown. Though the Phantom Troop members were there, only Yuvigan actually fought the Shadow Beasts. The result of the fight, total annihilation. The way they got destroyed like that in a single night, we might as well call them underdogs. It didn't even take one episode for Yuvigan to defeat them. Out of the 10 members, only one of them was left alive after the battle. Regardless of how their fate turned out, I think that their abilities are actually powerful. Depending on how they use their abilities, they might actually be very strong. Even though they had appeared in the earlier part of the series, because of their peculiar aura and quite distinctive appearance, they have a long history of being popular in the Hunter x Hunter fandom. Yes, even now, a lot of fans remember them. With that said, what are we waiting for? Let's start ranking the most powerful members of the Shadow Beasts. Top 5. Owl. His main features are his short beard and sunglasses. He's a skilled user of conjuration. His skill is called Fun Cloth. As implied by the name, it's a piece of cloth made of Nen which Owl uses to wrap other objects. Owl can turn it compact enough so that it fits in the pocket. In Shadow Beasts, he's in charge of transporting goods. During the underground auctions in Yorknew City, he did an impeccable job of transporting a huge amount of money and gold. It left the Phantom Troop wondering where all that gold went. And he did this all by himself. Since he's able to freely change the size of the cloth, he can easily wrap things as big as cars. Better yet, he can use it to wrap humans, like his opponents. Once you're trapped inside the cloth, you cannot escape. The only way to get out is if Owl himself decides to cancel the ability. During the Shadow Beast's face-off with the Phantom Brigade, Owl successfully captures Nobunaga using his Fun Cloth. Sadly for Owl, he got caught by the other members of the troop. To make matters worse, he ended up getting tortured by Phaeton, probably the most sadistic member of the group. Tough luck. Whether he survived from Phaeton's hands remains unknown. We did see how Crollo took away Owl's ability though, so all we know is that he's now unable to use his Nen ability. Fun Cloth is a powerful ability that can trap whatever or whomever is inside the cloth without any form of escape. With this ability, one can easily carry a huge amount of things, just like the auction items. Just like a car with passengers, without Owl burdening himself with the weight. That's an ability that can be a deadly hit. On the contrary, when Owl caught Nobunaga, he failed to capture the other members, even though they were not expecting the attack. After that, Owl was easily captured and tortured. It seems like his physical abilities are not that good, or at least not on par with the Phantom Troop members. His Nen ability does not really have any chance of directly killing an opponent, and among the troop, only one member was captured, Nobunaga. And the only reason Nobunaga couldn't escape on time was probably because he was sitting in the middle of the back seat. The result, Owl places on the bottom rank. Top 4. Porcupine. He's a short, bald man who wears a green casual jersey matched with flip-flops. In the Japanese version, he has the habit of ending his sentences with dana and when talking with others. It wasn't revealed what the name of his ability is, but he can freely manipulate the hair all over his body. It seems that he is either an enhancer, a manipulator, or a combination of both. Because he can adjust the amount, the hardness, and the length of his body hair freely, there is a wide variety of attacks that's possible for him to do. His skill is highly adjustable since he can choose which parts should be changed, just like how he controlled part of it to be sharp as needles and another part to be bouncy as springs. During their battle, he successfully locked Yuvigin's right arm by entangling it with countless body hairs. This is also quite effective for defense. When Yuvigin tried to attack him with his very powerful punch, he was left unharmed. By softening the quality of his hair, he was able to shield himself from the attack, which would have otherwise obliterated him. This skill's resistance towards physical attack is quite high. It was a good battle between the two, but at the end, Yuvigin found a way to win. By screaming at the top of his lungs, Yuvigin destroyed Porcupine to death. The deafening volume of his scream caused Porcupine's blood to burst out of his eyes and ears. While it was obvious that his skill's resistance towards physical attacks is quite high, we have no idea how effective it will be against an indirect attack or a Nen ability. We can assume that his skill specializes more in physical resistance. We did see him not being affected by any of Yuvigin's physical attacks, that is, until he screamed loudly. While it is a very adjustable and effective ability, the effect of his skills depends more on the opponent's Nen ability than his own power. There is a high possibility of him getting beaten without actually getting the chance to use his power. Because of this, Porcupine ranks 4th place. Top 3. Leech. Black hair, distinctive nose, and an obese body. That's Leech. The name of his ability was not revealed. He is a manipulator, and he uses his Nen to manipulate countless leeches inside his body. His main attack? Implant countless leeches into the body of his enemy. Leech uses several species of leeches. Some of them transmit diseases, while there are also leeches that can do treatments. With this versatile ability, he can both fight and also do support roles, like healing. During their battle with Yuvigin, he successfully implanted leeches inside Yuvo's body through the wound on his shoulder, much to Yuvo's disgust. As a result, his head got bitten off, and no, he did not survive that. The leeches that got injected into Yuvigin's body were spotted leeches. Thank goodness they don't exist in the real world. It invades the body from open wounds. Once inside the body of the target, it lays countless eggs in the bladder. The eggs will only hatch when it gets exposed to a certain amount of ammonia, which urine has. So when the target goes to piss, the eggs hatch then and there and causes pain so severe, it kills the target. Not really a pleasant way to die. To make it worse, the eggs don't just hatch quickly. They take their time hatching to the point that it's like torture. It's quite a frightening ability. That is, if you don't know the right remedy for it. As it happens, the spotted leech's weakness is alcohol. If the target drinks a lot of alcohol, then the leeches can be excreted without any pain. Fortunately for Yuvigin, his fellow troop member, Shalnark, knows this fact. Yuvigin just had to drink beer, and he will be fine. Beer saves the day. If it weren't for Shalnark, Yuvo might not have been able to survive. Leech can use various species of leeches, and once the leeches enter the target's body, it stays there, even when Leech himself dies. We can say that it's a very powerful Nen ability. On the other hand, Leech's physical strength doesn't seem to be anything special. With all these considered, Leech ranks 3rd. Top 2. Worm. Huge, pointed bald head, red-skinned. He wore nothing but a pair of underwear. That's how Worm looked during his appearance. Similar to the other members, the name of his ability is unknown. It's also unclear what his Nen type is. All we know is that with how his body is formed, he can freely move underground, just like an earthworm. He also has the ability to drag his opponents underground. Once dragged underground, it would be difficult for anyone to escape. Think about getting buried alive. With this ability, Worm gets to decide if his enemy lives or dies. In the series, Worm was the first among the Shadow Beasts to attack Yuvigin. He was also the only character who challenged Yuvo in a one-on-one fight barehanded. In one hit, Yuvigin smashed his face so badly, his teeth and eye went flying. Despite the hit, Worm was able to tunnel back down into the ground, grabbing Yuvigin's arm and then tried dragging him underground. Unfortunately for Worm, Yuvigin immediately unleashes his Big Bang impact. There's no way Worm would continue the fight. You would expect him to die after being destroyed like that, but even without his right arm, Worm was able to warn the others about the dangers of the spiders. He alerted them that they would need to bring everyone else. They were in deep trouble, and Worm soon died after that. Worm's ability to bring his opponents underground was not effective against Yuvigin's power, but if his opponents weren't an enhancer like Yuvigin, then it would be very difficult to escape once dragged underground. Considering how he can freely move underground, easily pull Yuvigin down, Worm is quite a tough fighter. He was tough enough remaining alive after getting hit by Yuvigin. Not many people are able to survive from Yuvigin's punch. Even though he was dying, Worm was also professional enough to inform his comrades about the spiders. With all these to consider, we can say that he is an excellent fighter. Overall, his abilities are top-notch, but because of his rather unpleasant appearance, he gets minus points. We're sorry, Worm, but you only get second place. Top 1. Rabid Dog. Skinny, pointy ears, sharp teeth, nasty-looking character. That's Rabid Dog. Based on his actions during his appearance, he seems to be the leader of the Shadow Beasts. The name of his ability is also unknown. He is an enhancer who uses his fang-like sharp teeth to fight his opponents. His fangs are poisoned, and once he bites his enemy, the poison immediately spreads out through the body, which disables the target to move. Based on Machi and Shawnark's conversation, the fight would have been over if the poison was lethal. Shawnark's comments that he must like torture. If he does enjoy torturing his opponents, then of course, rather than the poison that instantly kills the target, Rabid Dog chooses to use poison that paralyzes the nervous system and renders the target unable to move. During the fight with Yuvigan, he was attacking together with Porcupine and Leech. Although there were 3 of them, we can see that Rabid Dog's physical abilities are quite good. He did manage to quickly dodge Yuvo's attack after all. Aside from that, he also bit Yuvo's neck twice, and that's saying something since Yuvo's body is strong enough to deflect bullets and missiles. Now that's impressive. With such simple but effective combat skills, wouldn't you say he's a top-class fighter even within the strong members of the Shadow Beasts? He was able to get an advantage after successfully paralyzing Yuvigan's body with his neurotoxins. But then, Yuvo bites off Leech's head, chews it, and uses it to shoot Rabid Dog. He got hit, and in an instant, he was out of this world. Yeah, sadly for the Shadow Beasts, he died. Rabid Dog is a capable fighter who can kill an opponent in one attack, if he chooses to use his fast-acting poison. How long the battle will be can be based on what type of poison he uses. With how good his physical abilities are, we can put him in the stronger section of the Shadow Beasts. Since fighting with an enhancer type like Yuvigan was not a walk in the park, we can say that Rabid Dog must have been powerful enough to fight him. And in his case, if he gets the chance to hit his opponent, the winner can be immediately decided. It's almost an overpowered fighting style. At first glance, it seems unlikely that Rabid Dog would be the one to win this. But with how good his physical abilities were, and how strong his attacks had been, considering all these, he wins first place. Congratulations, Rabid Dog! You're the strongest one among the Shadow Beasts. Within the series, only half of the Shadow Beasts had their name and abilities revealed. It's almost like this underdog group just made its appearance to show us how powerful the Phantom Troop is. Looking back now, with all their abilities combined, Shadow Beast's real power, it is quite something. So, fellow fans, if you're thinking, the Shadow Beasts are strong, I want to know the abilities of the other 5 members, then you're already part of the Hunter x Hunter Institute. In the next videos, we're going to continue sharing to the world the splendor that is Hunter x Hunter. So, to our fellow researchers, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That's it for now. Let's meet again on the next video. See ya!